Brain of Britain, the nationwide general knowledge contest, chaired by Russell Davis.
Hello, we're in Salford for the fifth of the heats in our Brain of Britain 2021 tournament. A few of the competitors we'll be meeting in this series have deferred their appearance from last year when shielding and lockdown created so many obstacles to taking part. We're delighted to be able to welcome them to Brain of Britain at last. Who knows, one of our four contenders here may be destined to make it all the way to the final and possibly even take the title of Brain of Britain 2021. Let me invite them to introduce themselves.
My name's Colin Atkinson, retired financial advisor from Newcastle.
My name's Alan Hodgson. I'm a part-time customer service assistant from Macclesfield in Cheshire.
I'm Paul Hood, a retired civil servant from Oldham.
I'm GAETANA Trippetti. I work as a supporting artist in film and TV, and I am currently living in South Cheshire.
Wonderful, thank you for that. We know a little bit about you all, and it's all very interesting. Colin, a lot of contestants tell us about the times they met famous people, but you started at the top, I think. Didn't you have a memorable encounter with the Beatles as a young man?
Yes, back in the 60s when we were waiting for our O-level results, the Beatles were just becoming famous, and we went to Jersey, a group of the lads, to camp, and we realised the Beatles were appearing at the local dance hall. So we were on our way to get tickets, and this car came screaming up the road, nearly knocked me over, and it was an open-topped, yellow Ford Consul full of 4 Beatles. Luckily, it wasn't a submarine.
Yeah, you're lucky to see them four at once. That was sort of twist and shout type days, was it? Was it all?
It was, yes. It was just before Beatlemania took off, yeah.
Yeah. Alan, music's a bit of an enthusiasm of yours too, and you've been on this thing called a prog rock cruise, I gather. Now, I didn't know there were such things. My teenage sons are going to be ashamed of me, but what does a prog rock cruise involve?
Well, it's a cruise that goes out of Florida, and it's named Cruise to the Edge. It's a play on words from the Yes classic album of the 70s. And basically about 4,000 like-minded people just get on board and have a good time. There's about 30 bands playing. It's fantastic, great weather. I was going to appear on this series last year, but I couldn't because of the cruise. In the event, the cruise got cancelled anyway, so I didn't appear at all. So
dear.
I'm glad to be back this year.
I've only ever been on one cruise, and that was in that region, and it was in the hurricane season.
Oh dear.
I forget what the hurricane was called. It began with M, but it was terrible. Paul, I gather it's classics rather than rock music for you, but you're a bit of a bird watcher too, I think.
Oh yes, nothing I enjoy more than going out for a walk, local park, local playing fields, up on the local moors, bird watching.
There's been a tremendous upsurge in bird watching, it seems to me. I mean, appropriately on Twitter, bird watching happens all the time.
You can do it anywhere you like, from your own bedroom window. A couple of years ago, I was looking out from my bedroom window onto a neighbour's lawn where a sparrowhawk was making a mess of a wood pigeon.
Wonderful, yes. And naturally so. But all kinds of unusual birds have been turning up in this lockdown. I mean, hoopos all over the place. It's my ambition to see a hoopoe, and I never have.
My ambition, they don't get this far north. But the great thing is, I've seen more fledglings this year than ever before. They seem to be breeding in the lockdown much better.
Great. Gaetana, a little bird tells me you have a passionate interest in horseshoe crabs. Now, that really is unusual. How did that come about?
I read a book by an academic called Richard Fortey, and he was talking about animals which are they've been around forever.
Yes.
And the horseshoe crab is such an animal. I managed to see one, but he was dead. And then eventually I went to somewhere where they actually breed, and I saw thousands.
Yeah, I imagine.
So
yes.
It was very exciting.
Thank you all, and the very best of luck to all four of you. The rules here are unchanging. I'll ask you questions in rotation, worth a point each, until you get one wrong or you can't provide an answer. You all have a buzzer, which you can use to signal via a light, not a buzz, actually, that you want to try for a bonus. All I'd ask is that you remember, please, not to flash your lights impatiently while the first person is thinking about their answer. It keeps everything fair, and you can flash away once they've given an answer or their thinking time is up. Fingers on buttons then, everyone, by virtue of the alphabet. The first round starts with you. Colin Atkinson, whose memoirs, published in 2020, have the title A Promised Land.
Barack Obama?
Correct, yes. To the English, Sir Francis Drake was a hero, but to the Spaniards, he was a pirate, known to them as El Draque. What does El Draque mean?
The dragon?
The dragon is right, too. In which competitive sport do athletes use a manoeuvre known as an egg-beater kick?
Trampolining?
No. Alan Hodgson?
Water polo.
No. Paul Hood?
Taekwondo.
No. Gaetana, going to have a go? No. It's synchronised swimming, that way. that well-loved sport, yeah. Alan Hodgson, in March 2021, it was announced that journalist Clive Myrie would be the new host of which long-running quiz programme?
Mastermind.
Yes, replacing John Humphreys. A general who served in the American Civil War had a choice of 4 nicknames: Old Jack, Old Blue Light, Tom Fool, and one more by which he's best known today. What is that nickname?
It's TJ Stonewall Jackson.
Stonewall Jackson.
Thomas Jackson.
TJ is right. Thomas Jonathan Jackson. Well done. Fled is that music, do I wake or sleep, is the final line of which poem by John Keats?
Ode to a Nightingale.
Yes, right answer. What is the technical term used for a combination of 2 letters used to represent a single speech sound? For example, the GH in tough or the ch in chin.
Diphthong.
No. Any offers? No, unusually there aren't. It's called a digraph. D-I-G-R-A-P-H. Paul Hood's question. In 2010, which violinist became the first classical instrumentalist to reach number 2 in the UK pop charts with an album entitled Forever Vienna?
Nigel Kennedy.
No. Alan Hodgson?
Vanessa May.
No. No. It was André Rieu. And it's Gaetana's question. The name of which prehistoric period literally means Old Stone Age?
The Paleolithic.
Yes, the earliest of the 3 major divisions of the Stone Age, followed successively by the Mesolithic and Neolithic. Skinful of bowls he bowls them, the hip going in and out of joint, dropping the spine with the urgency of his hurry, are the opening lines of a poem by Ted Hughes describing what kind of creature?
It's pass.
Okay. Might be worth a guess. Yes, Alan
Blackbird.
Hodgson? No. Yes, Paul Hood.
Spider.
No. Colin, have a go.
Raven?
No, it's more fierce than that. It's a jaguar. It's called Second Glance at a Jaguar. And that's the end of the first round. Paul Hood is yet to score, but Gaetana Trippetti has 1, Colin Atkinson 2, Alan Hodgson 3. So, we go into round 2 immediately with Colin. What's the name of the Swedish crime writer who died in 2015, on whose books the popular TV drama series Wallander was based?
No, sorry.
Okay. Alan Hodgson?
Henning Mankell.
Yes, Henning Mankell, and it is your question. Which American politician who stood as John McCain's vice presidential running mate in the 2008 US presidential election is the subject of filmmaker Nick Broomfield's 2011 documentary, You Betcha?
Sarah Palin.
Yes. The 25-kilometre-long King Fahd Causeway connects Saudi Arabia to which island nation?
Bahrain.
Bahrain is the correct answer. Late in 1978, the British music press carried advertisements for a new album entitled Move Your Ass, featuring a song that was billed as the latest American disco superhit. What song was that?
I Feel Love.
No. And Colin says?
Night Fever?
Not Night Fever, no. No more tries, no. It was, and I'd forgotten this, YMCA. The album was by the Village People. Paul Hood, the sun burns about 600 million tonnes of what every second?
Hydrogen.
Yes, turning it into helium. If you consider how little mass it has per volume, that's a heck of a lot of hydrogen. A semi-aquatic North American rodent, the only species in the genus Ondatra, has been important to the fur trade, providing, for example, the fur from which the winter hats of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police are made. It also features in the title of a famous jazz tune. What is it?
Minx.
No. Gaetana Trippetti.
Beaver.
No. Okay, it's the muskrat, sometimes known under its Old English name Musquash, and the jazz tune is Muskrat Ramble, written by the trombonist Kid Ory. Gaetana Trippetti, the scavenging bird with the taxonomic name Vultur gryphus, is the world's largest flying, as opposed to flightless, bird. What's its common name?
Condor.
The Andean condor. The Californian condor, found in North America, is a separate species, though also enormous. Which now far from peaceful city, legendarily the oldest inhabited city on earth, was the scene of St. Paul's regaining of his sight and his conversion to Christianity in the Bible?
Tarsus.
No. Alan Hodgson.
Damascus.
Capital of independent Syria since 1946. End of another round. Everybody off the mark now, that's good. Paul Hood 1, Gaetana Trippetti and Colin Atkinson 2 apiece, Alan Hodgson 7. And it's back to Colin. Here's a piece of music for you, and it's a pop hit from the 1960s. Your question will follow.
For your love, for your love, for your love, I'd give you everything and more, and that's for sure. For your love, I'd bring you diamond rings and things right to your door. For your love, to thrill you with delight, I'd give you diamonds bright. There'll be days that will excite and make you dream of me at night.
That was unmistakably For Your Love, performed by the Yardbirds, which was in the British Top 10 in 1965. It was written by a musician who would go on to chart success some years later as a member of the band 10cc. Who is the writer?
Godley?
No. Alan Hodgson.
Graham Gouldman.
Graham Gouldman, yes. In the 60s, Graham Gouldman also wrote songs for the Hollies, Herman's Hermits, Cher, Jeff Beck, many others. Alan Hodgson's turn. Which politician was elected leader of the Democratic Unionist Party in Northern Ireland immediately after Arlene Foster stepped down in May 2021?
Poots.
Boots, yes, Edwin Boots. He himself stepped down a few short weeks later after a dispute over his choice of First Minister. In 2021, keen gardeners wouldn't have been surprised to learn that slugs and snails had been awarded joint first place on the Royal Horticultural Society's annual Top 10 Pest and Disease chart. Which type of plant-munching beetle, described by the RHS as long and dull black with a dirty yellow mark on the wing cases, was given second place?
A stag beetle.
No. Any more insects? Yes, Paul
The
Hood.
dung beetle.
No, but it's worth a guess. Anything that's sort of black and crawls, but no. It was the vine weevil. I would have had to accept, I think, any sort of weevil, but there you go. Paul Hood, in the name of the record company founded in 1931, what do the letters EMI stand for?
Electrical music industries.
Near enough, yes. Electric and musical industries, you have to separate them out a bit, but that's right. The names of which three sisters from Greek mythology mean literally strength, queen, and wide leaping.
The Furies.
Not the Furies, no. Alan Hodgson?
The Fates.
No. Gaetana?
Grey.
No. Colin, do you want to have a go? Yes.
The Muses?
No, they were the Gorgons. Stheno, Medusa, and Euryale, respectively. Gaetana Trippetti, which song, first recorded in 1909 by the music hall star Mark Sheridan, contains the line, "Where the brass bands play tiddly-om-pom-pom"?
Is it Begin the Begin?
No.
Would
Paul
you
Hood.
like to be beside the seaside?
Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. It was, yes, indeed. And here are the scores after that, the third round. Colin Atkinson, Gaetana Trippetti, 2 apiece. Paul Hood, 3. Alan Hodgson, now 9. And at this stage in the contest, let's give our brains a chance to rest their buzzer fingers and enjoy a more leisurely discussion, with no pressure, of a couple of questions sent to us by a Brain of Britain listener. Today's questions are from Alan Mortiboys, who I think has sent us plenty of ideas in the past. We call this Beat the Brains, and if Alan does beat the brains with his questions, he'll be getting a book voucher prize. This makes no difference at all to the scores, of course. See how you get on with Alan's questions, and I have a hunch the first one at least might be up your street. Can you give me the next in the following sequence of titles? This Boy, Please Mr. Postman, The Long and Winding Road.
Carpenters, Beatles.
The Beatles.
It's from...
Beatles. The last
from
one is the
with
Beatles.
the Beatles, is it? Oh.
Please, Mr. Postman, certainly on with the Beatles. LP.
So, Roll Over Beethoven? I mean, that was on it.
Oh, it was, yeah.
Could be.
Or is it the first track on the successive albums?
No, I don't think.
The Long and Winding Road was a B-side, wasn't it?
Yeah, Long and Winding Road wasn't on. Wasn't on. It was that was the last. The last
The
track.
very
wasn't it?
last, yeah.
So the Long and Winding Road was later on from
Yeah,
With the
yes,
Beatles, wasn't it?
yeah.
So maybe
It's on Sergeant Pepper.
it could be Sergeant Pepper.
No, because the Long and Winding Road is a very late one, isn't it? It's from the very last album, I think.
Remember, this is a sequence of titles, so you need the next one.
Yeah.
Missing something here, aren't we?
Should try Norwegian Wood, maybe. I don't know.
You can. That's on for Rubber Soul.
I don't think it's right, but Norwegian Wood.
No, well done for leaping into the dark, because I think that's what you were up against. It's In My Life. They are all songs recorded by the Beatles, of course, but they are the particular song titles taken by the former Labour Minister Alan Johnson for what he calls his quadrilogy of memoirs, published between 2014 and 2018. And he was once upon a time a postman.
Yeah.
Well, here's Alan Mortiboy's second question. In which very famous children's novel, first published in 1937, does the word she occur only once?
The only novel that I know was published in 1937 is The Hobbit, but whether you'd consider that a children's novel or not, I don't know.
It couldn't be Rider Haggard's She, could it?
Oh,
No,
yeah, that could be, yeah.
It's not a children's
It's not a
novel.
children's
not a
novel, it's
children's
19th century.
No.
So,
Or was it children? Did you say
Yeah,
children?
children's
Yeah,
novel. It's
children's,
also
yes.
19th century, isn't
That's why I
it?
said that's why the Hobbit just leapt to mind because of 37. That's all.
that was She Who Must Be Obeyed, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So.
I'd
Swallows
go
and
for your first choice, The Hobbit.
Swallows and Amazons, 1937.
So many female characters there, though.
Yeah, but that may be why it's...
No. True.
Shall we try that?
Yeah, by all means, yeah.
Swallows and Amazons?
No, it's heartbreaking to hear this, because your first hunch was the right one.
She.
Hobbit. The Hobbit.
Oh, Hobbit.
According to the American writer Ben Blatt, who has studied these things, the word she is used near the beginning to refer to Mrs. Bilbo Baggins, whom we never meet, and it never reappears. The word he, on the other hand, is used just under 1,900 times. I think we need a psychiatrist, don't we? So well done, Alan Mortiboys. We enjoyed your questions, and the brains, they got halfway there and could have got the first one. But we'll be getting your book voucher prize off to you as soon as we can. In the continued absence of a studio audience here in Salford, we nevertheless can't let you go away without a proper round of applause. So we've delved into our sound archive and found this most mellifluous one with our congratulations. Let 'em roll. Such a good sound. If you'd like a try at beating the brains, you can send us your question ideas at any time by email to brainofbritain@bbc.co.uk. Just try to make sure they're both intriguing and difficult enough to provoke some discussion among our panel. We certainly had that today. You can send us more than 2 if you like, and leave us to pick the ones we like best. And we'll always try to let you know if we choose your questions for broadcast, so do remember to give us your contact details as well. If you'd rather not use email but would like to send your ideas on paper, you can put them in an envelope addressed to Brain of Britain, BBC Dock House, Media City, UK, Salford, M50 2LH. Enough relaxation then. Let's get back to the competition. If you're all ready to start again, we return to you, Colin Atkinson. The actor Jacqueline Pearce, who died in 2018, had film credits which included White Mischief and How to Get Ahead in Advertising, but is best known for playing the villainous Servalan in which TV science fiction serial?
Blade Runner?
No. Alan Hodgson?
Blake Seven.
Blake Seven, the series that ran from 1978 to 81. Alan Hodgson, your question. 2021 sees the 50th anniversary of the classic Joni Mitchell album Blue, and it provides us with a piece of music for you to listen to. Several of its songs have been covered by other artists, most notably perhaps this song, which became a hit for the Scottish rock band Nazareth. This is the original. I'd like you to tell me its title.
Look out the left, the captain said. The lights down there, that's where we'll land. I saw falling, star burn up above the Las Vegas sands. It wasn't the one that you gave to me that night down south between the trailers. Not the early one that you can wish upon, not the northern one that guide in the sea.
I love Nazareth, and it's This Flight Tonight.
This Flight Tonight is right, yes. The longest-serving United States Secretary of State received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1945 for his role in establishing the United Nations. What was his name?
Bunch?
No. Colin Atkinson.
John Foster Dulles?
It wasn't, no. Gaetana Trippetti.
Caspar Weinberger.
No. Nobody else? No. It was Cordell Hull.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Does that name ring a bell now? Yes. Paul Hood. Oscar Matzerath is the protagonist of which great German novel of the post-war period, which was filmed in 1979 with David Bennett in that role?
The Tin Drum.
The Tin Drum by Gunter Grass, yes. Eid ul-Fitr is the Muslim holiday that marks the end of Ramadan, the holy month of fasting. Eid is an Arabic word meaning what?
Dedication.
No. Alan Hodgson?
End?
No. Colin Atkinson?
Feed?
Nope.
Day.
Gaetana Trippetti?
Day.
No, it's festivity. It's the festival of breaking fast in this case. Gaetana, your question. Which European king of the 18th century was the subject of a 6-volume biography by the historian Thomas Carlyle, completed 80 years after his death?
Pass.
Okay, Paul Hood?
Louis XIV.
It wasn't him. No. Alan Hodgson?
George I?
No. It was Frederick the Great of Prussia. And the biography did much to cement the name the Great in the popular view of him. End of a round. Here are the scores. Gaetana and Colin still on 2 apiece. Paul Hood 4. Alan Hodgson now 11. Don't let him get away, folks. As we go back to Colin. Colin Atkinson in a folk song originating in northeast England. What's the name of the character who, the words tell us, sells yellow clay and likes her beer?
Cushy Butterfield.
Good, Cushy Butterfield, and I wish she was here. Very good. Which writer, who died in Berwick-upon-Tweed in 2012, published the best-selling memoir The Railway Man, about his terrible experiences as a prisoner of war on the Burma-Siam Railway in the Second World War?
Sorry, the name's gone.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Alan Hodgson?
Reader?
No. No, his name was Eric Lomax. Alan Hodgson. And I am unanimous in that. was one of the catchphrases of which British sitcom character, first seen on TV screens in the 1970s?
Betty Slocum.
Mrs. Slocum, yes, in Are You Being Served? Memorably played by the late Molly Sugden. The bynames of which English king included Henry Curtmantle and Henry Fitz-Empress?
Henry II.
The right answer, well done. Which French poet wrote approvingly of London in a letter of 1862, "I love this perpetually grey sky. God cannot see you"?
No, I don't know that.
That's all right. Paul Hood?
Baudelaire.
Not Baudelaire, no. Could well have been, but it wasn't. Any more poets? Yes, Gaetana
Honoré de
Trippetti.
Balzac.
No. Nobody else. Stéphane Mallarmé was Mallarmé's quote. Paul Hood, there's music with your next question as we hear a choral version of a classical work which I'd like you to name.
Sorry, it's gone.
Right. Alan Hodgson?
Nabucco.
No. Gaetana Trippetti?
Fidelio.
No. No. Shaking of heads. Okay, it was Finlandia by Sibelius. We heard Eugene Normandy conducting the Philadelphia Orchestra and the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Gaetana Trippetti, which American-born actor who died in 1993 is commemorated in the name of the second theatre at Shakespeare's Globe Complex on London's South Bank?
Laurence Olivier.
No. Alan Hodgson?
Wanamaker.
Yeah, remember
Sam
Wanamaker, yes, because he was passionately involved in the project to fund and rebuild the Globe Theatre close to its original site. And now, Gaetana Trippetti 2, Colin Atkinson 3, Paul Hood 4, Alan Hodgson 14. And this, folks, I have to warn you, is the final round of the contest. So, Colin Atkinson, back to you. Which 1974 novel begins with the words, "The truth is, if old Major Dover hadn't dropped dead at Taunton races, Jim would never have come to Thursgoods at all"?
Lucky Jim?
No. Not recently read by anybody here, I think. No. It was Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy by John le Carré. Or as it says here, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, but I think we can forget that. Okay, Alan Hodgson, it's your question. Which judge and former master of the rolls led the investigation which reported in 2021 into the events involving Martin Bashir and the BBC's 1995 Princess Diana interview?
Tilbury.
No. It's not that long ago, but nobody remembers. No. It was John Dyson, the Right Honourable Lord Dyson, PC. And Paul Hood. What name is given to the compounds in the bodies of fireflies and other bioluminescent organisms which react with an enzyme in the presence of oxygen to produce light?
Luminoids?
It's a good invention, but no. It's very like that. It's luciferins. Luciferins, what a word. Okay. Gaetana Trippetti, time for some music for you. The song you're about to hear was a hit in 1968 for a British rock band. Once we've heard them in action, I'd like you to name them.
It's the time of the season when love runs high. In this time, give it to me easy and let me try with pleasured hands to take you in the sun to promised lands, to show you everyone it's the time of the season for loving.
Zombies.
The Zombies is right. Time of the Season was written by their keyboard player Rod Argent and recorded at Abbey Road Studios. In 2017, which British actor and rapper made history when he became both the first Asian man and the first Muslim to win a lead acting Emmy, which he was awarded for his role in the 8-part TV crime series The Night Of?
Pass.
Righto, Alan Hodgson?
Tinchy Strider.
No offers for that. Riz Ahmed. In 2021, Ahmed became the first Muslim to be nominated for the Oscar for Best Actor for his role in The Sound of Metal. And that brings us to the end of today's heat of Brain of Britain, with the final scores being these. Gaetana Trippetti and Colin Atkinson, 3 apiece. Paul Hood, 4. Alan Hodgson, 14. That means we'll be meeting Alan Hodgson again at the semi-final stage in the autumn. I'd like to thank all of our participants today for a very enjoyable contest. It was tough. Meanwhile, I hope you'll join us again here in Salford next time to see how another 4 contenders get on with their attempt to become Brain of Britain 2021. Until then, from all of us here, goodbye.